There is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why I am on the trail of the Nephilim. The Genesis 6 narrative states that the Nephilim are on the earth in those days and also afterwards. If that's true, can we find evidence that corroborates this? I'm L.A. Marzulli. Join me as we go on the trail of the Nephilim. Someone sent me this picture, and I'll show it to you in just a second. And we're going to get into this because it just speaks volumes in some ways. Anyway, we'll get into this and so much more. Thanks for tuning in. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Gold has been on an unstoppable run. It has gone up more than 81% in the last 5 years and almost 20% in the last 12 months. Folks, it's happening. Central banks are ditching the dollar and U.S. treasuries are buying more gold. The good news? It is predicted to go up more. UBS even said it might go up to $5,000 an ounce. Noble Gold Investments' phone has been ringing off the hook. Everyone wants to protect their retirement with gold, and folks, you can do the same. Noble Gold Investments can help you secure some gold to protect your future. From day one, you work with the same dedicated all-American experts. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced investor, Noble Gold Investments will make sure you get all the help you need. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin if you open a qualified account. Folks, go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. We've invested, and I am really glad that we did. So here's the picture that I received. I forget who sent it to me. Please forgive me. I just get so many emails every day, and it's hard to keep up with it. But here we've got these huge megalithic blocks of stone. And of course, underneath them are a bunch of scantily clad Egyptians with their hands raised above their heads, hauling the stone to its designated location. So this is humorous, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it's, obviously AI generated. It looks so real, doesn't it? And it's always the same. We found these old photographs tucked away and all this kind of crazy stuff. Well, what's interesting is this brings to light Egyptology, because I just saw something actually on a YouTube channel where scientists went in and looked at the limestone casings that covered the Great Pyramid, and realizing that this limestone is different than the limestone in nearby quarries. So it begs the question, what's going on here? Then the blocks of stone that you see in the picture, there are blocks of stone about that size above the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid itself, which is amazing. And here's the pyramid, let's say like this. The king's chamber is like right in here, about 2/3 of the way up. And that begs the question, how did they place those stones there? Sand ramps? Seriously? And people, it would take the Egyptians longer to create a sand ramp to drag these blocks up. We're looking at technology, in spite of what Mr. Hawass and other Egyptologists emphatically state, that we can't duplicate this today. And we've got cranes and all this other stuff. Let me back up. We can duplicate it today, but we've got cranes and we've got machinery and all sorts of cool stuff. They don't have that back then. Now, I want to show you a picture of Sacsayhuaman, and John will put that up. This is in Peru. I've been there numerous times, probably 4 or 5 times now. And every time I go there, if I'm leading a tour or a group or whatever, I have the folks reach out and touch the wall. And I'll tell them, you are touching the fingerprints of the supernatural. By the way, all that stuff with Peru and Sacsayhuaman is right in here on the Trail of a Nephilim. If you're interested in doing a deep dive, you can do your homework, as it were. I'm quoting Chuck Missler. It's my new favorite phrase because people don't do their homework. They go to YouTube Shorts and watch everything and figure, well, I know everything there is to know about it. And trust me, you don't. You gotta do a deep dive. You gotta do your research. So we went down to Peru. This is a photo journalism actually in the book, and I mean there's over 350 color photographs. But I digress. So Sacsayhuaman is thousands of years old. It may, in fact, predate the pyramid. We don't know, and people will argue that till the cows come home. The bottom line is this, that we see the pyramid and we see Sacsayhuaman, and in both cases, huge stones like this above the king's chamber, and then in Sacsayhuaman, perfectly cut stones placed together, and they're polygonal in shape. I'm not the first person I remember Graham Hancock years ago went down there. Eric von Daniken went down there. They always give us the explanation that all this was done by ancient aliens, and we disagree with that, respectfully. We say it's fallen angel technology, Nephilim architecture. So when I'm there with the folks, I have them touch the wall. And I go, you are touching the fingerprints of a supernatural. Because do we have technology that can duplicate that today at Sacsayhuaman? Yes, but at what cost? At what cost to build a wall like that? And, are they going to make jigs and pour the concrete and make it look like stone? Or are they actually going to cut the stone? The L.A. Marzulli challenge is simply this. Let's give a bunch of expert stonemasons the same tools that allegedly created Sacsayhuaman. Copper chisels, wooden mallets, let them go at it. Bring the andesite stone in from the quarry, which, according to Brian Forrester, is about 40, 45 miles away. I've never been to the quarry, want to go to the quarry. Who knows the way things are going. But we'll bring the stones, we'll leave them there, and you guys take your copper chisels and mallets and start shaping the stones. Oh, and we'll give you some shark skin sandpaper too, or whatever else to polish the stones. Because when you have a stone that's dressed like this in front, the sides are perfectly dressed and smooth. How is that done? It's incredibly enigmatic. Folks, there is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world. There's no doubt about it. I will be in Missouri this coming weekend. Actually, Thursday and Friday, I'll be speaking there. The Michael Lake Conference. Go to the website, lamarzulli.com, lamarzulli.com, and check out where we will be speaking. It's the last conference in May, and then we go all the way almost to the end of June, Prophecy Conference in Orlando. Don't forget our Roswell films. Folks, there are 30 films in our stable at the moment, and 13 and a half books. Number 14, The Rungs on the UFO Disclosure Ladder, will be released sometime this year. I write a lot on planes because I'm a captive audience. But hope to see you. I think the conference is sold out. Get on a waiting list. I know that the Prophecy Watchers Conference in Colorado Springs has room. There are still seats available. So check that out. Hope to see you there. It's always great to see the folks at all these conferences. Right now, we are sort of open in October. We had one cancellation, so October is sort of open for us. If you go to a church and you want me to come and speak, I would love to do that. Send me an email, la@lamarzulli.net, la@lamarzulli.net. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, folks, there is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world. And that's why I am on the trail of a Nephilim.
Officials endeavoring to obtain all flying saucers.
Marcel's own words, it was something that he'd never seen before. Something from another world. In our opinion, Marcel was a patsy.
Just verbal directions that we know was bandit.
That his father was telling the truth.
He dug in the eye and he said, it really happened. And he held his hand up just like this. If they had 6 fingers, not 5.
He said they looked quite a bit like us.
Do you think your grandfather was a patsy?
100%.
A cover-up by the U.S. military.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
I can't discuss in public setting.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
He deliberately obfuscated and they lied to the American people.
When the Pentagon decided to lie about what happened at Roswell.
Because standing 6 feet away, this little being about 3.5 feet tall.
She said the nurses who were there during the crash, they're now at a convent.
The first book that Randall wrote And he said to Jess, he said, that's not fiction.
But for everybody, I mean, this is a human thing. It's a worldwide changing, be life-changing for everybody.
Was certainly not a weather balloon and not something from this earth.